Hey guys, Justin here. I have failed at Mid-Ohio. I cannot get up to pace, but I enlisted the help of Maconi Setup Shop esports driver Ryan Andrew, who is very good at road courses, and he threw down a very good lap here. So I'll show that, and then I'll analyze it to the best of my ability. Alright, let's take a look at that. Yeah, my execution on this track isn't the best, but I think I understand the lines in a way where I can explain Ryan's lap here. So we'll go with going to the start-finish line here. He gets a really wide setup on this last little section here so that he can get on the gas as early as possible. You see how he's able to straighten out the wheel right after he gets through the curbs pretty much because he late apexes. And so he's basically able to just full throttle all the way through the last left-hander and carries a lot of momentum to the start-finish line. All right, turn one here, it's deceiving. It feels like that you can just dive it deep and turn in really wide, but the turn's a bit off camber. So what the best way to approach this is to get on the brakes and do a trail brake a little early. And then what you do is you just get down to the curb pretty much right when the curb starts. If you're, excuse me, sorry. If you're not down on the curb right when it begins, you're probably not going to get there at all just because of how the angle of the turn works. So you get down there, third gear, partial throttle, and you try to get it on the right rear for that corner, but sometimes it just won't happen. And that's how you carry your momentum through. All right, second turn here, we're going to rewind this a little bit. So the braking point for me, and it seemed like his braking point was about the same, is about halfway in between the 200 and the 300. The farther you push it, the more likely you are to wheel hop. One thing that he did here that I liked was that he didn't super short shift. I was really trying to short shift this third and second to get the engine braking. He let it get down pretty far before the second gear because it's really easy to lose grip there. So maybe a little bit earlier braking and not quite as much of a short shift will help the stability if you're struggling with that into that hairpin. And then make sure that you drive it all the way down to the cones on this straightaway. And then this corner here is very deceptive because you're like, okay, well, I broke between the 300 and 400 last time. I can do it this time, right? No, wrong. You have to brake before there are even markers. And looks like Ryan's brake point here was before the barrier transitions. So that is extremely early, but you need to do it. I think you can dive it a little tiny bit deeper than he dove it in here, but this is a good starting point. You see, it's not quite short shifting because, again, it's really easy to lose grip if you try to turn in right after a short shift. It seems like he did lose a little time on entry, but what he's able to do and what's really important here is he's able to late apex this curb. If you get to this curb early, you're going to lose a lot of time. See right here, see how he turns in a lot and late, but remember, you cannot turn your wheel a lot and be under full braking. You have to pretty much either be trail braking or no braking at all. So he's trail braking across the curb, but then once he makes the apex, he transitions straight to throttle, all in second gear, by the way. And then he wants to set up wide for this turn. It's really easy to exit wide off of the previous right-hander, but you're going to have a really bad setup for this kind of left-hander that's deceptively long. So you really want to be able to set up at least on the right half of the track here so that you can get this late turn in. You see how late his apex is there? He apexed, and this was a part that I really struggled on, but you're not going to see my lap, so you'll never know. Was apexing as late on this curb as possible. The earlier you apex, the more time you're going to lose because it just tightens. And if the corner tightens like that, you want a late apex. And you see another trap is to go way out into this curb. Well, guess what? We have another right-hander right here. So you're going to lose time on there if you set up too shallow there. So we have about 3 corners in a row where it's really tempting to exit wide, but you have to exit narrow in order to set up for the next corner that's right away. So for 3 corners here, you do that. And then for here, this corner, even Ryan missed it a tiny bit. This corner you can turn in so much earlier than you think you can turn into. I've missed this corner like 90% of the time just because I in my head I'm thinking I'm turning at the right time, and then I just missed the corner. He pretty much hits the corner, but he could have turned in a little earlier there. And again, this is that 3rd corner in a row where he has to set up on the non-intuitive side on the track to get another turn in here. And then finally, after this turn right here, that's the turn that you can drive out to the curb. So I think that was technically 5 turns where we have to stay on the inside in order to set up for the next turn. All right, 1 turn set up on the inside. 2nd turn set up on the inside. Oh wait, sorry. Oh wait, sorry. It goes all the way back to here. So after this straight, heavy braking, set up on the inside. For the next turn, late apex, set up on the inside. Next turn, late apex, or sorry, early apex here, but set up on the inside. And then this isn't really a turn, but you set up on the inside. And then this final fast right-hander is what you can get out to the curb on. But you have to do it right away because, again, you have another turn right here, which you can, these next 2 turns you can set up and drive all the way out to the curb. So it's kind of hard to remember, but that sequence is inside, 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 and then to the curb and to the curb. So the last 2 turns here, you drive all the way out to the curb. All right, but no room to breathe here because you're already at your next braking zone. Looks like he broke around the 300, a little bit before the 300. I like that between either the 300 or a little bit before it. Set up far on the right, and you can drive this. So he found out something here on this lap where it's very tempting, and once again, to drive all the way out to the curb, and you carry a ton of speed out there. But with a combination of carrying so much speed and that much curb, you will have a crap setup for this next long right-hander. And this is probably one of the most important turns in the track because of just how much time you gain or lose based on how much on the inside you are. So once again, he doesn't drive all the way to the outside to set up a little bit more favorable angle for this inside turn where he can just wrap the curb. And then again, just like the outlap, create a straight shot to the start-finish line. Look at that sequence one more time. So brake a little bit before the 300. Pretty fast corner. Don't lose too much speed, but don't drive all the way out to the curb unless you're able to set up this wide to begin with. And then just ease it, trail brake along the curb, keep it a straight shot for the exit, and back to the start-finish line. All right. So once again, with road courses, the big thing is that you don't want to be sliding your tires. So do whatever you can to not be loose in these corners. You can feel the car on the right rear, but the moment you start heating up your rears is when the handling is just going to be horrible on your car. So a couple of those corners where I was talking about, it's easy to wheel hop, it's easy to lose your rears into the corner. Maybe take those a little bit more conservatively in the race. and then also some of the corners that you can be a little more aggressive on without feeling like the car has to step out. Those might be the ones you want to push in the race. So other than that, thank you all for watching. Hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you all on the track.